Today I'm going to continue my series about the Eightfold Path. And today we're talking about the fifth path, right livelihood. That's right, living on purpose. You see, right livelihood is a spiritual path of integrity. It's about how you live your life energy. It's not what you do. So when we're talking about right livelihood, it's not what you do, but rather how you do what you do. Right livelihood is about congruence. It's about asking, does how I live reflect what I say I believe? That's a really important question. Are you living in alignment with your beliefs, or are you incongruent? If you are incongruent, realize there'll be a much greater level of stress in your daily life. It's if you talk or preach peace, but you fund conflict, that's a disconnect. In other words, people say to me, Lee, why aren't you an activist on the political scene, on all of this stuff? I said, because I teach that the world is in balance. Therefore, I act as if the world is in balance. I don't stir up conflict. I see the balance and I understand it. If you teach love but speak venom, that's a disconnect. So if you're teaching love but you're judging, judging is venom. Judging is the exact opposite of love. Let me just take it even a step further. What is complaining? Complaining is a way of judging, is it not? So if you're complaining and you're judging, will you ever find love? And you say, well, I found my perfect partner, but yet you're complaining to them about something in someone else. There's no love there. They just happen to be maybe complaining in the same way. And you think it's love. You fooled yourself. It's just interesting. If you value honesty, but you deceive to gain status or profit, that's a disconnect. Example of that happened to me today, or not today, this week. I received a contract from the hotel, which we do our Sunday in-person services. It's for the second half of the year. They give me a 6-month contract at a time. And I noticed that the rate that they said they were going to hold the rate. And when they put the rate in there, I thought it was lower than what they've been charging me. But before I signed the contract, I went back to the first 6-month contract for the first part of the year to make sure that it was the same. Because I couldn't have lived with myself if I knew there was an incongruence there. I believe and value honesty in all that I think, do, and say. And I am the one that's responsible for it. Because if I don't do it, guess what? The law of cause and effect will demonstrate my incongruence in my life. In the West, United States and Europe and that, we tend to think of livelihood as a career path. But the Buddha, many thousands of years ago, said our career path is pointing us to a way of being. See, it doesn't matter what you do. It's who are you while you're doing it. Right livelihood is about asking, does this work uplift my life or does it deplete my life? Great question. If you're an animal lover and you're working at a meat processing plant, I would wonder if that was uplifting your life or depleting it. There are people who are not animal lovers and that would not deplete their life. But I'm asking about you. Does your work lift or does it lower your experience? Here's another one. Right livelihood is always asking, am I selling truth or illusion? A lot of times, probably, I'm going to make a generalized statement here. If you're selling timeshare, are you selling the truth about it, or are you selling an illusion about timeshare? Because there seems to be a lot of people, there's a whole industry out there getting you out of timeshare because people bought it and didn't understand the full consequences of it. So I would ask, is whatever you're selling truth or an illusion? One of the things people say, well, Lee, you're selling. I am selling. I'm presenting ideas. I'm presenting ideas that have worked for me. So for me, it's not an illusion. And I always quantify what I'm teaching and say, you have to prove it for yourself for it to be the truth for you. I've proven it for me in these situations. It's up to you to prove it for yourself. Otherwise, if you don't prove it for yourself, it's just an illusion. Right livelihood is always about asking, is this healing or is this harmful? Is this bringing you back to a state of oneness, a state of love? Or is it causing greater separation? Harm, separation. Healing, connection, love. Right livelihood is always asking about, is it empowering you or is it enslaving you? Are you taking a job that's out of integrity with who you are so that you can make more money to buy more things and to keep yourself going, and you're enslaved because if you give up the job, you can't make your payments. You're in debt. Debt is modern enslavement. It's a modern day prison. This is a deep commitment to living aligned with truth, living alignment with truth regardless of the circumstances. The three pillars, according to the Buddha of right livelihood, are, number one, do no harm. Number two, do what you love with integrity. And number three, serve the whole. Let's explore them. Do no harm. Do no harm means if your actions contribute to violence, deceit, exploitation, or the suffering of others, even indirectly, that's misaligned. This includes gossip, manipulation, polluting the earth, or taking advantage of another person's ignorance. Don't ever. Harm doesn't get you anywhere. That is a great question before you do anything. Is this going to cause harm? Do what you love with integrity. There is power in doing what lights you up, but it must be rooted in honesty. A con artist might love what they do, but it lacks right livelihood. Integrity must be at the center of all that you do. If you're not in integrity, you radiate an energy, and you will not be happy with the people that come into your life, the situations that come into your life, because they will be out of integrity. Serve the whole. This is a big one. Your life is not just about you. What I constantly ask is, does my presence serve a greater good? If my work contributes to the collective awakening, healing, or upliftment, I'm living in right livelihood. If it doesn't contribute to the collective, then I'm not in right livelihood. I'm self-centered. I'm selfish. See, you can be self-centered as long as you're also serving the greater good of others. I am self-focused. I self-love. And I give everyone around me the right to self-love as well. In fact, I teach what I do to self-love so that others can do the same. I share my message in every respect. I don't believe there's a lack of resources. I believe I can share everything I've learned and everyone can benefit. I do not believe there is lack. Lack is a consciousness. Being of service is the greatest gift I can be in my job in this life. You see, It's all about energy. And the exchange of energy, that's sacred. Right livelihood is about energy exchange. You see, money's not the problem. It's our consciousness. Our consciousness about money. That's the problem. I see money, when people give gifts to Agape, I see that as they're giving back energy for the energy I gave out in the message I delivered or how Agape has served them. There must be an exchange of energy. It's natural. It's the law. When you're aligned, you never need to sell people. They're drawn to your clarity. People come into Agape, they're for a while. I don't try to sell them to stay. People come to me, Lee, I'm leaving. I wish you the very best. I don't go and try to say, no, you should stay. We're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that. I never do that. People are either drawn to you and what you give, or they're not. Doesn't mean they're right or wrong. Doesn't mean you're right or wrong. It's just an energy mismatch at this time. Here's the one I love. Your presence becomes magnetic. It becomes magnetic as you radiate congruence. People know when you're congruent, when your mind, your heart, and your actions are congruent to what you speak. Oh, they know, and they want to be around you. Because deep inside, congruence is our natural state of being. When our outer work is an extension of our inner values, we feel lit from within. We feel juiced from within. And that's where abundance lives. I don't know about you, but I love when I wake up in the morning because I've got a day ahead of me and I'm juiced about what I'm going to do. And you know why I'm juiced about what I'm going to do? Because I'm going to bring all of me to every moment. I'm going to bring my best into that situation with myself and with others. The other thing is, audit your life, not others. Right livelihood isn't about judging someone else's path. It's about auditing your own. And by audit, I mean, look at it. Are you aligned? This is what you say you value. Are your thoughts, words, and actions aligned with it? That's auditing your path. It's about asking, am I selling myself out for safety, approval, or a paycheck? You never want to be a sellout, especially to yourself. You want to live fully and completely. It's about asking, what is true for me right now? It may have been true for you 5 years ago, but you've changed. It may not be true for you now, so it's time to look at your life and make a change then. It's about asking, what would it look like to live in alignment with what I teach, what I say I value, and who I know myself to be? Boy, ask those questions, and you're going to be on a level of awareness that's going to be so different from most people, and you're going to have an experience very different. It's about realigning, not resigning. It's about bringing more compassion into the workplace. Bring a deeper understanding that everyone's on a unique path and that you can be a light. It's about being more transparent in your actions and your interactions. It's about standing for what's right, even when it's uncomfortable. And it's to stop supporting systems or people that exploit or deceive. You see, realignment means that you can be where you are. You just bring compassion. You're just more transparent. You stand for what is right, even when it's uncomfortable. And you stop supporting people and systems that exploit or deceive. You don't have to resign. You can realign. But I'm not saying you have to stay, because maybe, just maybe, it's time for a change. Maybe you can't do that where you're at. You see, your energy matters. Even if you can't change your title, your job right now, you can change your presence, the energy which you bring to everything you do in life. There's some signs that you can know that you're living in right livelihood. It's when you wake up in the morning and you've got a sense of meaning. You stop compromising your values. You no longer feel the need to prove anything to anyone else. You trust that being true to yourself is the path to abundance, because it is. You wake up juiced. You love who you are. You love what you do. You love who you are while you're doing it. You see, you're not just surviving now. You're serving. You're just not making money. You're making a difference. Right livelihood is a call to radical self-honesty. It's not always comfortable. It will challenge your identity. It will challenge your attachments. It will challenge your excuses. But guess what? In the end, it will set you free. And the most number one value that every human being has at the core of their being is the value to be free. Right livelihood is a path that allows you to become free.